let me ask you something, and I want you to be really honest with yourself for a second. Just see if any of this hits home. Why do you wake up already feeling exhausted? You scroll for 40 minutes, answer a bunch of messages you don't really care about, watch content you didn't even choose to see, and then you get to the end of the day with that awful sinking feeling that you've done, well, nothing? I mean, really think about that for a second. When was the last time you just sat in silence? Why do we have that immediate, almost twitchy urge to fill every single empty moment with a podcast or music or just anything? Or how about that phantom vibration you feel in your pocket? That little jolt of unease when your screen stays dark for just a bit too long? Look, if any of this sounds familiar, I need you to hear this loud and clear. You're not lazy. You're not broken. It's simple. Your brain is just overstimulated. And today, we're going to break down what's actually happening to you on a neurological level, why this feeling has pretty much become an epidemic, why all those productivity hacks never seem to work, and, here's the good part, the single most effective way to actually reset your mind. And no, it's not just meditate more. So let's get really clear about the problem we're facing, because this isn't just some personal failing. It's a systemic condition of our time. We are living in the very first era in all of human history where our nervous systems literally never get a chance to rest, where our attention is the product being bought and sold, and where real, actual boredom has been almost completely engineered out of our lives. And the numbers, well, they tell a pretty shocking story. The average person today is consuming 5 times more information than someone did just a few decades back in 1990. We're checking our phones more than 150 times a day. We're switching from one task to another every 47 seconds. That constant barrage of input, that relentless context switching, it has a huge neurological cost. And this slide right here, this just perfectly illustrates the fundamental mismatch, doesn't it? Our brains, this incredible piece of hardware, evolved over millennia in environments defined by tribes, deep focus on one thing at a time, and long, long periods of silence. Now, that exact same hardware is trying to operate in a digital world of endless notifications, AI-driven feeds, and a million open tabs. It's just not normal for our nervous systems. So how did we get here? I mean, how did our brains actually get so hooked on this never-ending cycle of distraction? To really get it, we've got to look at the neuroscience. Okay, so this is absolutely crucial to understand. We've all heard that dopamine is the pleasure chemical, right? Well, that's not quite right. It's really the anticipation chemical. It's the little alert in your brain that says, hey, pay attention, something interesting might be about to happen. It's the maybe that keeps us hooked. And this is not an accident, this is by design. Digital platforms are engineered exactly like slot machines in a casino. This whole concept comes straight from the work of behavioral psychologists like B.F. Skinner. It's called a variable reward system. You don't know which scroll, which email, which notification is going to give you that little hit of interesting information, so you just keep pulling the lever, over and over and over. This state of what you could call constant micro-anticipation. It jacks up your cortisol levels, it fragments your attention. But it's not just the anticipation that's wearing us down. It's the sheer weight of all the unfinished business. Now, take a look at this number on the screen. 67. What do you think that represents? It represents the average number of open tabs in your brain at any given time. This idea comes from a psychological concept called the Zeigarnik effect, which basically says that unfinished tasks stick in our minds. The unread messages, the half-watched videos, the conversations you never finished, they all stay open, just draining your mental energy. No computer could run with that many tabs open, and neither can you. And this right here is the trap that so many of us fall into. We feel this crazy mental fatigue, and what do? We immediately go looking for a new productivity system, a new app, because we think we have a time management problem, but we don't. So we try it all, right? We optimize our calendars, we build these super strict morning routines, we download the latest productivity apps, we keep trying to add more structure to our lives. But these are all solutions to the wrong problem. You're not tired because you managed your time poorly. You're tired because your brain never ever gets a chance to close the loops. And this is it. This is the absolute pivot point of this whole conversation. The critical insight is this: you don't need more structure, you need less input. Overstimulation isn't a time management problem, it is a nervous system problem. Your whole system is inflamed, and trying to fix it with a new app is like trying to put out a fire by adding more fuel. It just makes things worse. So, if adding more doesn't work, what does? Well, the solution is actually beautifully simple, and it runs completely opposite to everything modern life tells us to do. It's all about taking things away. The most powerful solution is a practice called strategic understimulation. Now, this isn't about some dramatic 30-day digital detox or packing up and moving to a cabin in the woods. It's a practical, sustainable strategy that's designed for the world we actually live in. Yep, you heard me right. Boredom. That feeling we have been trained to avoid at all costs. Boredom is literally the doorway to resetting your nervous system. There's real science on this. It's called attention restoration theory, and it shows that these low stimulation states allow our brains to recalibrate. They lower cortisol and restore critical cognitive functions like focus and creativity. It's not magic, it's just neurological maintenance. Okay, so how do we actually do this? Let's get really practical. I'm going to give you a simple 4-step protocol you can start using today to take back your mental space. Okay, first, input fasting. For 1 hour every single day, you allow 0 inputs. That means no phone, no music, no podcasts, nothing. Just walk, sit, journal, or think. Now, your brain is going to fight this at first. That's withdrawal. But just stay with it. Second, single channel living. It means exactly what it sounds like. Do one thing at a time. Eat a meal without a screen in front of your face. Work without constantly switching tabs. Monotasking rebuilds your brain's ability for deep focus. Third, close loops ruthlessly. Every open tab in your mind is a cognitive leak, so write them all down. And for each one, you have 4 choices. Delete it, delegate it, do it right now, or schedule it for later. And finally, number 4, scheduled stimulation. Instead of getting these random dopamine hits all day long, you choose when you consume. You decide when to engage with the feed. Don't let the feed decide for you. To really make all of this stick, I want to leave you with a powerful metaphor that I think perfectly captures both the state of our minds and the elegant simplicity of the solution. I want you to imagine that your mind is a glass of water, but it's filled with mud and dirt. And all day long, modern life is just shaking that glass. The notifications, the news, the social media comparisons, the constant noise, it's all just shaking that glass, keeping the water totally cloudy and turbulent. Now, we think we need to fix the water. We try to filter it or add clarifying chemicals or try to force the mud out somehow. But you don't. All you actually need to do is put the glass down and stop shaking it. If you just let it be still, the mud will settle all by itself. Clarity is the natural state of your mind when you finally stop overwhelming it. So what's the ultimate takeaway here? Overstimulation is not your personal failure. It's a condition of modern life that's been designed to sell your attention. But understanding the design gives you back control. In a world that literally profits from your distraction, maybe the most rebellious, most powerful act you can commit is to just be still, be quiet, and reclaim your own mind.